Welcome to Honolulu, Hawaii's capital and home of the Iolani Classic. Tonight, we are inside of Iolani School for a championship matchup between the Sierra Canyon Trailblazers and the Panthers of St. Paul 6. Both teams have clawed their way to this point and have remained undefeated in this year's contest. But today, there will only be one team left standing as the Iolani Classic continues.
Aloha from inside of the Iolani Classic. I'm Justin Brantley alongside my broadcast partner, Coach Dean Shimamoto. This is the 37th annual running of the Iolani Classic, and we've got a great one here for the championship game between Sierra Canyon High School of California and Paul VI from Virginia. What are you expecting to see from this matchup?
Well, out of Paul VI, I'm expecting to see the same gritty, hard-nosed defense that they played last night to get the win in the semifinals. And on the Sierra Canyon side, I'm expecting the stars to be stars. Kijani Wright, Bronny James, the stars that you know to be stars, I'm expecting to be big tonight.
Well, we're back after a year off due to COVID. Excited to be in a beautiful arena such as Iolani High School. We're here on Honolulu, Hawaii. It's been an amazing event so far, full of top-level players, full of amazing teams playing hard. We're excited to bring you another great matchup. This is set to be a big-time game between these two teams. A lot of energy in the building already.
Absolutely. This place is filled. It's our early Christmas present here in Hawaii. It's beautiful outside, but it's an even better atmosphere in here.
Absolutely. So we're going through the starters right now, and you'll see a beautiful lineup between these two teams coming right at you after this break. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss this one.
Get more from your box score with Cerebro Sports, the official analytics partner of SUVtv. Start with stats.
And we just finished going through the starters for Paul VI. We're going to see Caleb Etheridge, Jeff Sprouse. I'm sorry. I was giving you Pembroke Pines starters from yesterday in that game against Sierra Canyon. In this game, our starters for Paul VI, we're going to see Justin Boggs, number 4, Deshaun Harris-Smith, Doug McDaniel, Darren Harris, and Christian Gerdek. On the Sierra Canyon side, we're going to see Bronny James, Tim Radofsky, Dylan Matoyer, Kijani Wright, and Ramel Lloyd. Coach, looking at this lineup, what are your expectations when you see two guard-centric teams? What do you think is going to be the difference maker in this game?
We said it earlier in opening. I think it's going to be the stars being stars. It's the championship. We're in Hawaii. We're on national television. And stars tend to rise up in these moments. And if the stars are stars here, then Sierra Canyon may have that advantage.
The bright lights here in Honolulu. Both these teams have been settled in for a while. They've had the opportunity to do some excursions and some things around town. Now it's time to show up when the lights are the brightest.
Absolutely. It's nice to be in Hawaii, but they're here for a reason. They're here to play basketball. They're here to be in the championship. And Sierra Canyon, not new to championship games, but I think this is a big one for St. Paul VI. They're a program that's well known across the country year after year, but this is their opportunity to make some noise in this 2021-2022 season.
Yeah, Paul VI is led by point guard Doug McDaniel, who's headed to the University of Michigan, number 11. But I've been really impressed with the freshman, Christian Gerdek, number 25, big fella down low. He does a great job commanding the post. does a great job cleaning up the boards. He's phenomenal. And then they have Garrett Sundra coming off the bench. So plenty of size to contend with the size of the USC commit Kajani Wright on the other end for Sierra Canyon. So, a good big matchup. Good guard play matchup. I think the difference right now, you can mark this down, circle it. Deshaun Harris-Smith, he had a phenomenal game yesterday, was a facilitator, got everybody going, did a great job getting his team in positive situations. So we'll have to see here what happens. But we've got Paul VI in the road black trimmed in yellow, Sierra Canyon in the home whites, and it's tipped off. Ball's controlled by Sierra Canyon. You have Dylan Matoya bringing it up on the right-hand side.
Yeah, we talked about stars being stars, but it may be these guys, Montoya, Ramel Lloyd, who was the high scorer last night for Sierra Canyon, and other players like Rudovsky, who gets the start here.
They're going to quickly try and maintain a post presence, and up and under, picking up where he left off yesterday is Ramel Lloyd.
Ramel Lloyd has been so productive from the three-point line, going to the basket, in the mid-range. His assertiveness has made this Sierra Canyon team a tough team to guard.
Coming back the opposite direction. That was a good screen there set by Christian Gerdek. Three-pointer on the way from Doug McDaniel. That's off. Gerdek fighting for it. Rebound, Ramel Lloyd into the front court. Gives it up. Bronny James gives it right back. Allows him to attack downhill again. Drive and kick. Picked away from Bronny James and out and running. That's Deshaun Harris-Smith. Up off the glass. No good, but he's going to head to the free throw line.
Deshaun Harris-Smith, the do-everything player for the St. Paul Panthers. You see him there on the defensive end, getting the steal, attacking the rack. He knows the kind of athlete that Bronny James is, so he used his body, threw it in there, and put it up off the glass with the left hand. Defense
to offense, and now he's going to get an opportunity to convert some free throws and continue this really the setting the tone, right? Like letting them know that we're a defensive team and you're not going to score easily on us.
Yeah, this could be one of those low-scoring games. You never really know. I mean, St. Paul VI will rely on their defense, but Sierra Canyon, stout on defense. You'll see them change defenses throughout the night, cause some confusion, and this is going to be a battle.
First free throw's good. Second one's off the mark. Rebounded by Matoya. Into the front court. They kick it ahead. Kajani Wright in the high post. He's looking for it. Matoya. They're in a zone look right now. Paul VI is. You've got Ramel Lloyd running baseline. Matoya scanning the court from the high. Throws it down low. Bronny James ends up with it. Thought about it. Pulls it out. 15 seconds remains on the shot clock. Matoya's taking his time. No rush. Three-pointer on the way from Ramel Lloyd. Off the mark. Rebound by Christian Gerdek.
This is the first game where Sierra Canyon is going up against somebody their size. Opening game against Punahou, a local team, Iolani, a local team, and then Pembroke Pines, who, despite their great guard play, is not that big. So Gerdek and Sundra coming off the bench, this will be a size difference than what they're used to in this Hawaii tournament.
Here's Doug McDaniel attacking downhill. He gets into the lane, floater, high off the glass, good.
Doug McDaniel has so many different finishes in his bag. He's explosive, gets by the first defender, and then you could see it right there, that underhanded floater off of one leg.
Well, getting it going early is important for him. You talked about this being a Christmas game. I see 3 pairs of green Grinch Kobe's on the floor right now. Those are the Christmas Kobe's, so these guys know what this is about. This is an early Christmas present, whoever can get this championship victory.
Yeah, they had those in their bag. They weren't wearing them last night.
3-on-1, Doug McDaniel downhill, and the finish. 4 quick points from McDaniel, 5-2 lead from St. Paul VI. Near turnover.
This St. Paul VI team really gets going on defense. This gets him excited. This starts their offense, and you saw it twice already getting out in transition.
Bronny James with the rocker step, gets it back over into the lane. Ramel Lloyd, pull-up jumper on the way, no good. Tipped around, but it's going to be Paul VI basketball, and the crowd is already starting to favor Paul VI a little bit. This is a neutral crowd, but Paul VI travels extremely well. There you have McDaniel.
Yeah, absolutely. That underdog role. You like to cheer for the underdog.
McDaniel bringing it into the front court. The crossover dribble, step back into the lane, floater, up and good.
There he is, going left with the right-handed floater, going in the opposite direction. Feels so comfortable with what are normally awkward shots for everyone else.
He makes the awkward look easy. Floater in return from Dylan Matoya, that's good. 7-4. St. Paul VI with the lead into the front court. Doug McDaniel crosses over, tries to clear out, asks for it back. He's got it. He's going to give it up in space. Attacking downhill, drive and kick. Doug McDaniel for three on the way. Good, nothing but the bottom of the net.
Doug McDaniel really with a quiet night last night, just 6 points. Now up to 9.
9 in the first 4 minutes of play. Tim Radowski trying to return fire. That three is off the mark, and it's going to be Paul VI basketball.
It could be those Kobe's that are on Doug McDaniel's feet.
Yeah, he's definitely in Kobe mode right now. Into the front court. Got Deshaun Harris-Smith surveying the floor. He's being harassed by Bronny James. Screen set by Christian Gurdek. Down floor, Doug McDaniel thought about it. He attacks, pulls it back out, up off the glass, no good. Offensive rebound, give it back to him. These are those hustle baskets that Paul VI, they're the benefactor of. It's effort and intensity, and they just wanted a little bit more right now. Back cut. He zigged when he should have zagged, and that's going to be Sierra Canyon basketball.
You saw that last offensive rebound by Darren Harris. He was the high scorer last night, one of the best shooters in that sophomore class, but yet he's there attacking the glass. And we talked about it with Paul VI, so well coached, so disciplined. You can't just be one-dimensional with this team or else you won't be on the floor.
Yeah, and that's why they send so many players to the next level. They send so many guys to college because they understand how to play the game of basketball. They have high basketball IQs. They're coached well. They're trained hard. College coaches know that they're going to get elite players out of Paul VI. Floater from Matoyer, up and good.
Second straight floater from nearly the same position from Matoyer.
Bronny James with the steal, attacks downhill. Matoyer with the three, no good. Doug McDaniel fighting down low. He has the rebound. He's out and running. He's going to ask for it back. Thought about the three. Didn't have a good handle on it. Kicks it down low to Garrett Sundra, who's just joined us here. Welcome to the game, Mr. Sundra.
Doug McDaniel, not just a scorer. You saw him hit a three. You saw him get to the rim, shoot his awkward runners, but now with a great pass. The no look on the inside, drawing the foul for Sundra.
Well, there's a reason why he's headed to the University of Michigan. And don't go anywhere. We've got a great matchup for you. Be right back after this commercial break.
Get more from your box score with Cerebro Sports, the official analytics partner of SUVtv. Start with stats with Cerebro Sports and make every game count. Visit CerebroSports.com for more information and check us out at all SUVtv events.
And we're back live inside of Iolani High School. So far, it's been the Doug McDaniel show. It's been Doug, and more Doug. He's showcased his finishes. He's been deep in his bag like the fries at the bottom. He showcased his three-point ability. And right off that out-of-timeout play, Paul VI tried to extend their lead a little bit. 10-6, Sierra Canyon basketball. Dylan Matoyer brings it into the front court. On the floor, you have Matoyer, Mike Price Jr., Bronny James, Kajani Wright, and Ramel Lloyd. Bronny James for three, up and no good. Rebound out and running, Ben Hammond gives it up. Deshaun Harris-Smith been relatively quiet here so far. Three-pointer on the way, nearly in, rattles out. Bronny James with the rebound, and he's off and running. Bronny James with the dish. Ramel Lloyd up, blocked by the long arm of the law, Garrett Sundra.
You talked about it earlier, Gurdek and Sundra have a great tandem, subbing in and out for each other.
Three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound Kajani Wright. Well, yeah, and to think about those guys are both young. You know, Gurdek is a freshman, Sundra is a sophomore. They're going to be here for Paul VI, controlling the paint for years to come. Kajani Wright down low, kicks it out to Bronny James. Three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound there, Deshaun Harris-Smith. He's out and running, kicks it ahead. Doug McDaniel thought about it. He's going to take it. Three-pointer on the way, nothing but the bottom of the net.
As you said, Doug McDaniel and more Doug McDaniel. The stars being stars here in Hawaii in this championship game. Started with a stop up the floor from Harris Smith to Doug McDaniel, wide open. Drano.
Listen, when it's your night, it's your night. And I had an opportunity to walk around this beautiful city of Honolulu, and it has a magical feel to it. And it looks like that magical feel is kind of transitioned and found its way into the hands of Doug McDaniel, because he has not missed. He's on fire. They're going to have to find a way to slow him down. If they can't slow him down, it could be a long night here for Sierra Canyon.
What better combination, that Mamba magic with those Grinch Kobe's on, and you mix that with the Hawaiian air, and I think there's something special, and he feels it, no doubt.
His ability to finish around the rim. He's one of those three-level scorers, and I think that term is used a little bit too often in high school basketball, but he's one of those guys that you really can't take anything away from him. He can knock down the open shot. He can get into the lane. When he gets 2 feet in the paint, he can either distribute, he can pull up and shoot that floater, he can get to the rim and finish through and around contact. Just a really special young man.
Yeah, great indicator. Just 6 points last night in the win, so he doesn't feel as though he needs to be the guy, but when it's his time, he takes full advantage.
Dylan Matoya brings it into the front court, kicks it over to Mike Price Jr. Matoya for three, off the mark. Rebound, Kajani Wright. He's up, thought he was fouled, stays with it, not able to get it to go. Matoya collects the rebound. Mike Price Jr. looking at the floor, comes downhill, kicks it to the wing. This zone from Paul VI is forcing Sierra Canyon to be shooters right now. Mike Price Jr. with a crossover dribble into the lane, tries to get the floater. No, they're going to call the foul. I think that foul's going to be on the floor. We'll see what they say. Foul's on number 15. It's going to be on the floor. That's going to be on Brendan Robinson, his first, team first.
Deshaun Harris-Smith taking a rest on the bench. He was manning the top of that 3-2 zone. Now, little different look for Paul VI.
Mike Price Jr. wants to attack. Rocker step, gives it up. Ramel Lloyd up at the top, kicks it over. They're not allowing anything to happen down low. And even though Kajani Wright's a big body down there, the long arms of Garrett Sons are keeping him from getting positioning. Ramel Lloyd attacking downhill, gets it to go.
Attacking the rim is going to be important for Sierra Canyon. They can't be happy just staying on the perimeter and shooting threes. That vertical attack, that north-south attack into the paint is important to break through this tough 3-2 zone by Paul VI.
And Doug McDaniel walks it into the front court across the timeline. Just over 20 seconds remain. He's scanning the floor. He sees the zone look. He's not in a rush. They have the advantage. They're going to hold for the final shot here. So the ball screen's coming from Sundra. He denies it, tries to split the pair. Great defensive stand there by Sierra Canyon at the end of the quarter.
Beautiful call by Sierra Canyon, Coach Dre. We saw them do that last night against Pembroke Pines, and star guard Kobe King send the double to get it out of his hands. You don't want Doug McDaniel to be taking that last shot. Tried to split it, scramble on the floor, but again, taking him out of his rhythm is so important because he's definitely in a rhythm right now.
Well, both of these teams are extremely well coached. On the Paul VI side, you have Coach Glenn Farello, who has built an amazing program here. And on the other side, Coach Andre Chevalier, Coach Dre, he does a phenomenal job with the Sierra Canyon roster, managing the stars, right? You talked about it earlier, stars being stars, guys with multiple high major offers. Sometimes for some coaches it's hard to coach that, and Doug McDaniel for three at the buzzer, nearly got it, no good.
Oh, I thought that was going the double behind the back with the pull just off the front rim.
Listen, if he made that shot, I would think that he had some sort of Hawaiian mojo going on, but don't go anywhere. We've got more basketball headed your way, second quarter of action right here on NBC Sports.
What an incredible performance from you tonight, Dom.
People are saying you can't keep this up.
Says who?
Get more from your box score with Cerebro Sports, the official analytics partner of SUVtv. Visit cerebrosports.com for more information and check us out at all SUVtv events.
live action here inside of the Iolani Classic. First quarter's over. It's a 13-8 advantage for St. Paul VI. The Hawaiian Air has Doug McDaniel feeling so fresh and so clean. 12 points in the first quarter. He's finished in a bevy of ways. Let's see if Sierra Canyon can mount a comeback here. Bronny James with the ball on the perimeter. Kicks it around. Mike Price going to attack downhill. Floater up. No good. Doug McDaniel with the rebound.
Let's see here. The Paul VI defense has done a good job of not just getting stops, but cleaning the boards, keeping Kijani Wright off of the offensive glass.
Sierra Canyon goes to a man defensive look. Doug McDaniel, he picked apart that zone. They said, all right, we see you. Let's see if you can handle the one-on-one ball pressure of Bronny James. No good. Bronny James brings into the front court. He crosses the timeline on the right-hand side, kicks it across to Mike Price Jr., but there is Garrett Sundra, the super sophomore, 6'9". That front line of St. Paul VI, 6'9" sophomore Garrett Sundra, alongside 6'9" freshman Christian Gerdek. It's hard to beat. Gerdek's taking a break, getting a much-deserved breather. You have Sundra in the back line of that zone. Bronny James going to have to knock down some outside shots to stretch the zone a little bit. Mel Lloyd attacking downhill, floater, no good. They're going to call the foul there. Let's see who they assess this one to. That foul's going to be on number 23, Jaquan Womack. That's his first, team second.
To this point, Sierra Canyon has only had success going to the basket. All 8 of their points either on floaters or attacks to the rim. Now 0 for 6 from the three-point line.
Yeah, and that's a testament of that zone. You know, if I see that you're not shooting the ball well, I'm going to sit in that zone and force you to beat me some other way than line drives. Still, I mean, that shows how well coached the Sierra Canyon team is to be able to break down the zone, get to the interior, and still make something happen. Doug McDaniel crosses the timeline. He's being harassed by Bronny James. Now Sierra Canyon shows a 2-3 look. An extended 2-3 and an unforced error. You have a turnover there. Deshaun Harris-Smith wasn't able to corral it. He taps on his chest, says, my bad. It's okay, young man. We all know. Make up for it here defensively. Bronny James brings it across the timeline. He's headed to the left-hand side of the floor. Attacks left to right, comes downhill, drive and kick. Three-pointer on the way. Ramel Lloyd, nothing but the bottom of the net.
Ramel Lloyd has been the guy for Sierra Canyon. 20 points 2 nights ago, 23 points last night, and he has to be big for them if they're going to win this game tonight.
Return fire 3 on the way from Darren Harris. You talked about the sharpshooter earlier. I mean, again, we're talking about this young talent. He's a sophomore as well for this Paul VI squad.
An incredible shooter. His team knows it. I think Sierra Canyon has to do a better job of recognizing while in that zone where their shooters are.
Understanding time and space. Ramel Lloyd pull up, good.
There he is again, Ramel Lloyd. I think hitting that three-pointer made a difference for stretching out the zone.
We're gonna get another look at that.
Ramel Lloyd with the attack, mid-range jumper. No one stepped up. Big hole there in the middle. He found it, and he knocked the shot down.
Well, you know, that's the Kijani Wright effect. When you have Kijani Wright on the baseline, you can't really step up because although, yes, Ramel Lloyd can knock down that mid-range shot, Kijani Wright ripping the rim off the backboard is one of those momentum plays that can really get Sierra Canyon into this. So that was a good decision there to give up the good shot to avoid giving up the great shot. Doug McDaniel for 3. He's still feeling it.
There he is. Through the first couple nights, really, it was just shots at the rim. Doug McDaniel now taking it from downtown.
That's his third 3. He's 3 of 4. Floater in return from Bronny James, no good. Doug McDaniel up for the rebound, not able to corral it. Bronny attacking downhill, gets in the air, blocked from behind by Christian Gerdek.
The assertiveness by the Sierra Canyon guards, important for them to get into the paint. Even if they don't score, the threat of getting there will open up the outside, more inside-out looks, opportunities for Kijani Wright to go to the board if they're able to draw the center over on defense.
The big freshman Christian Gerdek said, not in my house. Said, we may be in Hawaii, but anything around the paint is mine. We get a foul on the floor. That's going to be called on Christian Gerdek. He has to be careful. He can't get himself into foul trouble here early.
Really focusing on Kijani Wright, keeping him off the block. Too much displacement for referee Dan Cota.
That's Kijani Wright's first foul, and there he goes. I told you he's going to rip the rim right off the backboard. That's what Sierra Canyon wanted. Great play, baseline lob, throws it up over the top. Kijani Wright slams it home. That's the momentum that Sierra Canyon needs right now, trailing by 2, just under 5 minutes remain.
Yeah, as you mentioned, mental mistake by this well-coached Paul VI team. Can't leave Kijani Wright alone near the basket.
He thought about the 3. We talked about Harris. We talked about Justin Boggs. He's a great shooter as well, and that's a 2-pointer. That's Harris's 2. Right back in the other direction. Look at the way Kijani Wright runs the floor. Kijani Wright was the first man down the floor. Here we're going to see the USC signee running the floor, putting himself in a positive situation and earning a trip to the free throw line.
Yes, highly touted as he is, you would think he'd be the guy asking for the ball on the block every possession. He hasn't gotten that against this stingy zone, but he keeps looking for ways to be effective. You see him running the lane there. You see him crashing the boards on offense and getting opportunities even off of out-of-bounds plays.
And he should be able to get things going here now. Christian Gerdek just picked up his 2nd foul. He's going to have a seat. That's going to free things up a little bit. I just don't think that Garrett Sundra has enough size on him to contend with Kijani Wright down low.
Yeah, to this point, it's been what you call defense by committee or big by committee, and you need that against a guy like Kijani Wright. So take Gerdek out of this equation, and how does the game change?
Here you have Doug McDaniel scanning the floor. They have a 3-point advantage, so he's not going to be in any rush. 20 seconds remain on the shot clock, just over 4 minutes left in the game. 3-pointer on the way. That's a deep 3, no good, but Boggs crashes, blocked, and out and running. Tim Radowski looks like it was tipped. They're going to say Harris tipped that, and it's going to stay here, Sierra Canyon. So Sierra Canyon, they do their best work when they're out running and playing in transition. So right now, this flow, it really leans towards an advantage Sierra Canyon. It's going to be interesting to see if Paul VI can slow it down. Bronny James for 3, no good. Great look at it.
Yeah, still surprising. Breakdowns on the out-of-bounds defense under the basket. First one for a dunk. That was a wide-open look for Bronny James in the corner.
It was a good look, just couldn't get it to fall. Doug McDaniel brings it into the front court again, taking his time in no rush. Paul VI wants to slow this game down a little bit. They don't want to get in a track meet with the athletes of Sierra Canyon. 3-pointer on the way. Up and no good. Bronny James up there for the rebound. It goes to Dylan Matoyer. Matoyer's going to kick it into the front court. Ramel Lloyd attacking, pulls it back out, throws behind the back pass to Matoyer, who's looking to swing it to Bronny. He wasn't able to swing it. Lloyd has Kijani Wright down low. They're going to call the foul there on Garrett Sundra. Great body positioning from Kijani Wright. He put Garrett Sundra in the place where he could only do one thing, either foul or get manhandled in the post.
Yeah, just what you mentioned earlier. Sundra may not have the size or the weight to contend with Kijani Wright. You saw that extra push, and when they see that, when referees see that, that's an automatic call.
Yep, and what Paul VI might have to do is they might have to front Kijani and bring somebody backside to help with that. So we'll see how they make the adjustment or if they continue to allow it to play the way it's going now. Bronny James attacking downhill. Layup, good. Back and running is Boggs, unable to complete. Rebound, Bronny James has it. 21-20, advantage Paul VI. Bronny James into the front court, attacking. Nearly has it poked away, goes up, can't get it to fall. Kijani Wright on the rebound. I think they're going to call the foul on the Bronny James shot attempt. Yes, they are. That foul's going to go against Justin Boggs.
Bronny James pushing the break. As you said, transition is the key for Sierra Canyon. The zone of Paul VI has been so tough, so stingy, so to find those holes in transition is important for Sierra Canyon to be successful.
This championship game here at the Iolani Classic has not disappointed. We have 21-20, St. Paul VI ahead of Sierra Canyon. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break.
Get more from your box score with Cerebro Sports, the official analytics partner of SUVtv. Visit CerebroSports.com for more information and check us out at all SUVtv events.
We're back to live action here inside of Iolani High School. I'm Justin Brantley alongside my broadcast partner, Coach Dean Shimamoto. Coach, what have you seen so far from this game?
Well, we saw some early runs. I mean, Doug McDaniel really had it going and was just carrying this team, St. Paul VI. And when Sierra Canyon turned it around, they were able to figure out the Paul VI zone a little bit, get out in transition, get to the rim, find those opportunities, and then Doug McDaniel has gotten quiet. Maybe it was lack of touches, but also of note, Deshaun Harris-Smith hasn't gotten the ball a lot on the offensive end. And the type of facilitator that he is, he's going to need more touches for this Paul VI team to be successful offensively.
Yep, and that's the last thing you want from Bronny James, to see him get the feel of the ball falling through the net. His shot has been off to start, so those 2 free throws could be just what he needs. I always tell shooters, when the ball's not falling for you, attack the basket, get to the free throw line, get in rhythm seeing the ball go through the net. He makes both of those free throws, gives Sierra Canyon their first lead. They're up 22-21. Into the front court, Deshaun Harris-Smith, who you just spoke about, against this zone from Sierra Canyon. They're going to call the foul there on Bronny James.
You could see that. You could see it right there on that offensive possession. The first 2 guys to touch the ball, Deshaun Harris-Smith and Doug McDaniel.
That's going to be Bronny's second. I really like those Hawaiian shirts there from Coach Dre and staff at Sierra Canyon. I'm going to have to get one before I leave the island.
That's the understated, classy look. We call it aloha casual.
Yeah. It means he understood the importance of the event, but he still is here to party. Ball flies around the perimeter. Doug McDaniel has it on the left-hand side. He moves left to right. He's in the middle of the floor looking at that 2-3 zone. I like how they've extended the zone. They're not going to allow open shots. They're going to force you to pick apart inside. Downhill, no good. Rebound, Kajani Wright, out and running. Mel Lloyd slows it down, finds Dylan Matoyer. Matoyer scans the court. High ball screen from Kajani Wright. Kajani Wright was looking for it. Weren't able to get it to him. Another high ball screen. He's not able to dive. They're going to say that's off of the hands of Mike Price, Jr.
St. Paul VI switched into a man-to-man defense. They were earlier in the 3-2 zone, and a guy like Mike Price, so shifty, I'm sure loves to see this man-to-man defense, immediately went to the hole.
Oh, yeah, he's going to put you on skates. I know hockey's not a big sport here in Hawaii, but he's going to let you know, there's ice out there. It's a little slippery, Coach. Jumper on the way, no good. There you have Sundra battling down there, not able to get it to go. Matoyer into the front court, kicks it to head to Ramel Lloyd. Ramel Lloyd attacking downhill, gets it to right, a little bit too high. Doug McDaniel coming back, and the speed is just so quick. Transition, defense to offense, can't get it to go. The benefactor, though, of attacking the offensive glass is Deshaun Harris-Smith. That's his third point. 1 point lead, 23-21. Paul VI has the advantage. Just under a minute remains. 13-second shot clock, game clock differential. Ramel Lloyd's going to pull it out. He thought about it. He's scanning the floor. To Johnny Wright, that's exactly where they want him to touch the ball at. They don't want him to get it down there in the post. Floater from Lloyd, no good. Rebound corralled by Darren Harris. He gives it up to Doug McDaniel, who brings it into the front court. They're going to hold for the final shot. Just over 10 seconds remain here in this first half of the 37th annual Iolani Classic Championship game. Coach says go, and Doug goes. A little bit too late. 23-22. Paul VI with the 1 point lead headed into halftime. It's been a back and forth matchup here between Ramel Lloyd, Bronny James attacking downhill, but Doug McDaniel has been the man with the plan. He scored in every way possible. He has his team with the 1 point advantage headed into halftime. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the second half of action.
tonight, Dom.
People are saying you can't keep this up.
Says who?
Halftime inside the championship game. This is the 37th annual Iolani Classic. We've seen a phenomenal first half from Doug McDaniel for Paul VI. He's scored in a variety of ways. He showed us that he can get it any way you give it to him. If you allow him to shoot the outside shot, he's going to do that. If you allow him to get to the basket, he's going to do that and finish through contact. Coach Dean, what stands out to you about his game and what you've seen from him so far here this first half?
He does a nice job of really taking what is given to him. As you said, you see that floater there. He also gets to the rim. He's knocked down 3 of 5 threes. So his versatility is his biggest weapon, because whatever you take away, he's fine with that. He's just going to go to his next thing in the bag of tricks and finds a way to score.
You talked about his bag. I think it's deeper than Dora's backpack. I mean, he's able to pull it out and show you anything at any time. You know, him floating to the left and the floater with the right hand just shows you that he spent a lot of time in the gym. It shows you that they train a lot and they coach a lot over at Paul VI. They're a well-coached program. They're here competing. They want this championship. You talked about that beautiful trophy. They want to take it home and put it in their trophy case.
Yeah, Doug McDaniel's making sure that trophy comes home with St. Paul VI. 15 points, already shooting 60% from the field. I mean, that's an efficient half.
Absolutely. The question is who's going to step up alongside Doug McDaniel. He's really been everything for Paul VI. They're going to need a complimentary scorer, and who do you think that'll be?
It's probably going to be by committee. I mean, the threat of Darren Harris out on the perimeter, you saw some flashes from him out from three-point range, and then he shot that little one-leg two-pointer off of maybe the mid-post. And he's going to be that guy, but really, Deshaun Harris-Smith, he's been that multiple-level player for them, and I think he's going to have to continue to do that because he finds guys.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're going to go to a quick break, and we come back, we'll talk about that first half from Sierra Canyon. You don't want to go anywhere. This championship game is shaping up to be a great one. We'll be right back after this break. All right, we're back here to halftime between Sierra Canyon, St. Paul VI. Paul VI has a 1-point advantage. During the first halftime break, we spoke about what Doug McDaniel has done for Paul VI. On the other side, Sierra Canyon, it's been all Ramel Lloyd. He has 11 points here tonight. He had 23 last night. Coach, what is the impact that a player like Ramel Lloyd has in a game like this?
Ramel Lloyd, he's that mid-sized player. He has the size to go out and rebound and get shots over people, but also explosive enough to be able to get to the hole. So you saw him get some scores in the mid-range, going to the basket, but it was that three-pointer that you're seeing right there that broke open that zone and really started the Sierra Canyon run and got them going offensively.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we talked a little bit about complementary players. We talked about the stars, and obviously they're going to need to show up, and Ramel Lloyd has been a star for the Sierra Canyon squad. But when you have other players on the floor, you're going to need somebody to give you a little bit of something. Who is that complementary player for Sierra Canyon?
Last night it was Mike Price. Really quiet through the first 3 quarters and scored 10 of his 12 points in the fourth. And maybe a similar story here, really quiet through this first half. He has that ability to separate, that quickness, that shiftiness, very Doug McDaniel-like to be able to get to the hole. And last night against Pembroke Pines in the semifinals, he was able to score, get big buckets for the Sierra Canyon team. One
player that I have not seen much of that I expected to see more, Tim Radofsky, number 1 for Sierra Canyon. He has the ability to stretch the floor, shoot that outside shot. He's so effective with the ball in his hands. I mean, great size, listed at 6'9". He's that guy that can maybe, like you said, that zone being stretched by Ramel Lloyd with the 3. If they can get Tim Radofsky going, he can stretch out that zone as well.
Yeah, he's only taken maybe that 1 shot in that first quarter, and it was maybe a tipped air ball. So he has that ability to stretch defenses from the corner, from the top. We'll see what type of defenses Paul VI comes out in. I mean, they're aware of who he is and what he can do, and maybe they had the scout on him and were paying more attention, so they were out on him in the corners and at the top, and whatever's given to them, Sierra Canyon's going to have to exploit.
23-21, Paul VI with a slight advantage. We're going to be headed to live action here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. second half of action, it's anybody's ball game. This is the 37th annual Iolani Classic Championship game.
Get more from your box score with Cerebro Sports, the official analytics partner of SUVtv. Start with stats with Cerebro Sports and make every game count. Visit CerebroSports.com for more information and check us out at all SUVtv events.
And we're back to live action here inside the Iolani Classic at Iolani High School in Honolulu, Hawaii. Paul VI with the 1-point advantage. They inbound the basketball. Deshaun Harris-Smith brings it into the front court. There's the man, Doug McDaniel. Paul VI has been very slow and deliberate with their offensive attack. Not in a rush at all, playing with great pace. Deshaun Harris-Smith, high ball screen from Christian Gurdett. He gets underneath it, gets downhill, off the glass, no good. Kajani Wright clears it. Bronny James brings it into the front court. Bronny versus Doug, kicks it over. Ramel Lloyd for three, wide open, off the mark. Rebound, Justin Boggs.
Sierra Canyon dropping back, starting the half in a man-to-man. In this set, I'd like to see Doug McDaniel just go to work.
He heard you, understands that the defense is there, so he pulls it back out. Bronny James has to play careful. He has 2 fouls already.
Whether McDaniel scores or not, getting into the paint collapses that defense and creates opportunities for either himself or someone else.
As the offensive man, you want to get 2 feet in the paint. Defenses want to keep 2 feet out of the paint. He misses on 3, rebound by Kajani Wright, and they're off and running. Bronny James pulls it out. Swings it to Dylan Matoyer. Dylan has it on the left-handed screen, drive and kick. Bronny James for 3 on the way. Up, no good. Tim Radowski keeps it high, and he's going to be fouled there by Deshaun Harris-Smith. So you're a former coach. You were the head coach here at Iolani High School for 10 years. You won 3 state championships. That's how you teach big men to keep that rebound high. If you bring it down, they'll strip it away, but you keep it high, great things will happen, right?
Yeah, keep it up, hold it strong. Kajani Wright was really active there, actually getting the tip to create that offensive rebound opportunity.
And quickly, Bronny James caught Paul VI sleeping. That's the 3rd possession that Paul VI has kind of been sleep on that inbounds, that baseline out-of-bounds set. They kind of are allowing Sierra Canyon to find a rhythm in that, and they're not bumping or brushing anybody.
Yeah, just really not ready to play.
Another big rebound by Kajani Wright. He's headed to USC. One of those big Compton Magic guys, headed to continue the legacy of big Compton Magic players going and competing at University of Southern California. 3-pointer on the way and good. That's Darren Harris, one of the best shooters in the country. Only a sophomore. He wants to make sure his name is known.
Just when he saw Justin Boggs turning the corner in transition, he floated out to his comfortable spot at the 3-point line.
And Mel Lloyd attacking downhill. You talked about that earlier, his ability to stretch the floor. But here we're going to get another look at that 3-pointer on the way from Darren Harris.
Holding that follow through. He knows it's going down. That's the look he's been hunting for all game. Once he gets it, he's not going to waste it.
You've got West Coast versus East Coast in Hawaii.
Amazing.
What better matchup can you get than that? Virginia versus California in Hawaii.
Yeah, this is really Christmas, not just for us here in Hawaii to get to see this live at Iolani School in 70-degree weather, but this is a treat for these teams and also a treat for everyone watching on NBCSN.
So you're just going to rub it into all of our fans on the East Coast watching that might have a little bit of snow around that we're in 80-degree weather. I was going to leave that one alone. That was Dean Shimamoto. You can send all DMs, angry letters, Santa Christmas cookies, whatever you need to send it his way. That was not me.
Hey, that's what we got. We need people out here. We need the tourists to come and visit us.
Back to live action. Doug McDaniel brings it across the timeline, 26-all. This is a dog fight. Both these teams looking for a little bit of separation. Doug McDaniel taking his time running a deliberate offense. Kicks it down low. Deshaun Harris-Smith on Bronny James, not able to back him down. Bronny into the front court, out and running, and that's where he is most effective in transition, but stripped away. Ramel Lloyd strips it back. Big time move there from Deshaun Harris-Smith. He's going to get the foul called against Kijani Wright, who is the player you want to get in foul trouble.
Deshaun Harris-Smith, you see him, his ability to handle the ball, control his body, make that spin, but still elevate and draw contact on Kijani Wright. That's a special player there for Paul VI.
Yep, that was a showcase of balance and understanding of where he was at on the floor and who he was going against. He knew that Kijani Wright was going to contest that shot. He went straight up into his chest and elevated his hands and earned himself a trip to the free throw line. First one's good.
A lesser player would have lost the ball at half court, might have traveled on the spin, lost it on the way up, but he completed the play and made the free throws.
Yep. Deshaun Harris-Smith, junior, 6'5". He's been the heart and soul of this Paul VI squad. There's a little bit of a clamor about whether or not that ball was touched by Sierra Canyon, whether or not the fans want it to be. It's still going to be their basketball. Dylan Matoya swings it from left to right. Mikey Price, pull-up jumper, no good. Big rebound there from Deshaun Harris-Smith. Went and got it at his highest point, and then he pushes it, drive and kick. Doug McDaniel, 2 feet in the paint, drops it off. Good find there to Garrett Sundra.
Sundra's length and his craftiness. He caught it on the right side. The expectation would be that he goes up with his right hand, but uses that left to keep it away from shot blocker Kijani Wright.
Well, we talked about Doug McDaniel getting 2 feet in the paint and being able to make something happen. There's Kijani Wright down low, spin move, up and under. Good.
One of the few touches for Kijani Wright on the block.
And they need more of that. They need to get the ball to him with intention. 30-28, just under 4 minutes remain. Paul VI with a slight 2-point advantage. We're here in the third quarter. Doug McDaniel kicks it to Darren Harris. Deep three, nothing but the bottom of the net. He shot that with extreme confidence.
Defended well by Montoya. Came off the screen, not a lot of airspace, but he knows his range. He knows how much he needs and got it right up from about 25.
Kijani Wright with the ball out in the perimeter. Not quite where they want him to have it, but he's going to go post up down low. They're not able to get it to him. Dylan Matoya driving, floater, good.
Third floater from Matoya. He's one of those accessory guys that not a well-known name, not a star, but he makes plays like that to help his team.
33-30, just over 3 minutes remain here in the third quarter of the Iolani Classic Championship game. Doug McDaniel with the ball in the middle of the court. He's surveying the floor. Beautiful pass down low. He finds Deshaun Harris-Smith, who understands who he has on him. A little bit of a hesitation move goes up on the left-hand side. He's going to find another trip to the free throw line.
That quick no-look pass by Doug McDaniel. The pump fake by Deshaun Harris-Smith, and goes up with that left hand, comfortable with that left hand, and draws a foul on Kijani Wright.
Yeah, beautiful pass there from Doug McDaniel. Really impressive. I'm excited with what we're seeing here. Don't go anywhere. We've got just over a quarter and a half of action left in this game. We'll be right back with you after this break.
What an incredible performance from you tonight, Joe.
People are saying you can't keep this up.
Says who?
Back to live action inside the 37th annual Iolani Classic. We've seen 2 different Doug McDaniels here so far. We saw Doug the scorer in the first half. Now we're seeing Doug the facilitator. He has 3 assists, but he has 2 of what I call SBAs, should have been assists. He does a great job of finding the open man and putting him in a position where, number one, only he can catch it. And then number 2, it puts him in a positive position to finish. And because of that, we have a free throw opportunity coming here from Deshaun Harris-Smith, shooting 2 shots.
Yeah, Doug McDaniel, just really a magician. He has so many shots to get off and get to the bucket. so many moves, first of all, to get to the bucket, so many different finishes, and also a wide array of passes. Tiny window on that last one and got it through to Harris.
If Doug McDaniel keeps dishing it out like this on his way to Michigan in the world of NIL deals, I can only imagine that McDonald's will be calling him to talk about, hey, how can we make something off this Mickey D's name here?
Yeah, the McDoug.
35-30 into the front court. Sierra Canyon coming downhill, trying to make something happen. They find Kajani Wright, drive and kick. Mike Price thought about it, gets into the paint. They're going to call that foul on the floor. That's going to be on Deshaun Harris-Smith.
You saw a flash of that shiftiness and that quickness by Mike Price. He's going to have to start stepping up big for this Sierra Canyon team.
Harris-Smith picks up his second foul. Here we have another blown assignment on that baseline out of bounds. Bronny James not able to get it going, but they're going to call the foul there on Ramel Lloyd, battling down low for the offensive rebound. He says, not me. Said every player ever called for a foul. That's his second foul. Doug McDaniel bringing it into the front court. Paul the Six is content with taking their time. They've got a 5-point lead here. They are not in a rush. 35-second shot clock. Doug attacks, drive and kick. Sundra not able to corral it. He keeps it. Ben Hammond brings it to the front. Dribble handoff. There's Harris-Smith. 9 seconds left on the shot clock. Pull-up jumper, no good. Kajani Wright with the rebound. Here goes Sierra Canyon out in transition. They don't have numbers. Bronny James has it. Thought about it. Doesn't take the shot. Gives it up to Kajani Wright. Gets it back. Bronny James surveying the floor. Looks around. And he's going to attack. Drive and kick. Mike Price Jr. Three-pointer on the way. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
On cue, we said he needed to be assertive. We said he needed to get it going. And there you go. Mike Price right on cue.
2-point ball game. The crowd is coming in live here inside of Iolani School. This is the 37th annual Iolani Classic, and this championship game is nothing short of what we expected. McDaniel with the floater, high off the glass, no good. Rebound, Bronny James. Out and running, Ramel Lloyd, drive and kick. Mike Price for another three, nothing but the bottom of the net.
Mike Price is an absolute gamer.
The price is right. Mike Price said, put the ball in my hands, put the team on my back, I got this. And just like that, the momentum has shifted back to the way of Sierra Canyon. They force a timeout call here from St. Paul VI. It's a 30-second timeout, so we're not going to go anywhere. What have you seen here in this third quarter?
Well, really, I've seen Mike Price. It took him the whole game last night to get assertive, to start saying, hey, it's me. It's my opportunity. And you saw it right there. He passed up a few three-pointers early, but took the last one with confidence and then followed that up with another one back-to-back.
I agree with you. The thing that I want to talk about is seeing Bronny be a facilitator. You know, he hasn't had the outside shot falling for him. And a lot of times you'll see guys with his stature and notoriety try and force the game, continue to jack shots. And for him, he says, no, it's not about me, it's about we. And I'm going to find a way to get everybody involved. And it's more important for me to get a win here than end up high in the stat line and the leading scorer. So I really like the maturity that I'm seeing from Bronny James, him being able to be a facilitator out there. You talked about Mike Price with those big clutch threes. That's exactly what they needed from him. Let's see how they finish this quarter out here. Just over a minute remains. Spin move, drive and kick, three-pointer on the way. Up and good. Brendan Robinson, welcome to the scoring, Mr. Robinson.
Right off the bench, big shot in the corner, steps up and knocks it down.
That's what you have to do when you're coming off the bench. You can't come in and get acquainted to the game. You have to come right in ready to play, bringing a different level of intensity and igniting your team fresh off the bench. Great job from Ben Hammond. Ramel Lloyd thought about it. He's going to take it. Three-pointer up and good.
Another big shot. 3 consecutive threes for Sierra Canyon.
39-38 advantage. Just over 20 seconds remain here in this third period. Doug McDaniel surveying the floor. Shot clock's off. They can hold for the last shot. He's looking around. He looks at his coach. Glenn Farello is letting him know what he wants. He starts to inch towards the left-hand side. You're going to see the high ball screen come in there from Harris-Smith. Doug McDaniel gets in the lane. Floater off the glass. No good. Ramel Lloyd with the rebound. He's not even going to attempt it. 39-38, Sierra Canyon has the lead. We're headed to the fourth quarter here of the Iolani Classic. No shot bigger than that one right there by Ramel Lloyd. Don't go anywhere. You do not want to miss this finish. I'm Justin Brantley alongside Dean Shimamoto. We'll be right back.
Get more from your box score with Cerebro Sports, the official analytics partner of SUVtv. Start with stats with Cerebro Sports and make every game count. Visit CerebroSports.com for more information and check us out at all SUVtv events.
Action here. We've got the fourth quarter, 37th annual Iolani Classic Championship game. It's been a back and forth matchup. Sierra Canyon with a 1-point advantage over Paul VI. Doug McDaniel, Doug the defender. He's able to turn over Bronny James. He's the first one on the floor. He better calm down. He better calm down. He doesn't want to get a technical there. Doug plays with so much heart and emotion. And sometimes what makes you great can also be the curse that hurts you and your team. And, we saw towards the end of yesterday's game, Coach had to pull him out and talk to him a little bit because of just the physicality of that ball game. He is one of those players that leaves it all on the court, and you absolutely love that from him, but he has to understand time and place here, cannot pick up a technical in that situation.
Yeah, that fire has to stay controlled.
Wow. Turn and shoot three-pointer on the way, no good from Darren Harris. Into the front court comes Sierra Canyon. Mike Price Jr., he erupted during that third quarter. Crossover, pull-up jumper, nothing but the bottom of the net.
He's really feeling it now. Quiet through the first maybe 2.5 quarters, and then it became the Mike Price show like Doug McDaniel early on. It is now Mike Price's turn.
The 6'2 junior is so efficient and effective with the ball in his hands. He's not one of those guys that needs 20 dribbles to break you down. You talked about his shiftiness, his ability to get you to change, just shift your body positioning and put your weight on one leg, and he quickly gets over to the other one. Just so great and so quick with what he does. I really like his game. He just gave them the 3-point advantage, 41-38, Sierra Canyon with the lead. Let's see how they respond. Doug McDaniel crosses the timeline. Bronny James playing harassing defense. He steps over the screen. Doug McDaniel for three. Up, no good. Mike Price Jr. goes and gets it at the highest point. He's going to be fouled. That foul's on Brendan Robinson. That's his second, team fourth.
Paul VI has players that want to make plays. You saw a quick pull by Darren Harris on that first possession, and Doug McDaniel, not a bad shot, but he did pull it quicker than he'd like to. So pressing a little bit early, trying to make plays. I think if they settle down, let those plays come to him. That was his strength, finding what the defense gives him. So if he settles down a little bit more, he's going to get better opportunities, and those are the ones that he will capitalize on.
Yeah, when you have a player like Doug McDaniel, sometimes you have to let things go, right? Like, he's just one of those guys. He's a gamer, and he plays best when he's just playing within the flow and the transition of the game. So sometimes he's going to take some shots that maybe we might look at later on and say, hey, that was a bad shot, but he just has that ability, and he doesn't do that too often, so it's okay. And there, Mike Price attacking downhill, wasn't able to pull up. That's the man that we've talked about all game long. Deshaun Harris-Smith was his impact on the game, setting his feet and taking the charge.
Such a heady player, also a tough player. He realized that Mike Price had it going. Mike Price wants to go to the basket. He stepped up, took it right in the chest, drew the charge. An important play for Paul VI.
Well, again, it goes back to the coaching prowess of Coach Glenn Farello. Getting your best players to take charges. That's an indicator that you have guys bought in, and they're really committed to being the best versions of themselves to make sure that they're the best for this team. Into the front court, ball's in the hands of Deshaun Harris-Smith. attacking downhill on Bronny, puts a shoulder in his chest, goes up, no call, gets the rebound laying on his back, ball's kicked over, three-pointer on the way, no good, rebound Mike Price. Into the front court, three-pointer on the way from Dylan Matoyer, in and out, rebound coming off to Jaquan Womack, he gives it up to Doug McDaniel, Doug attacking downhill, pulls it back, layup off the glass, good.
There's that magic again. Doug McDaniel nearly dropped Ramel Lloyd on the crossover, went to the hole and tossed it right up off the glass.
His finishing ability is superb. I really like to see him get downhill and get it up off the glass. He does a great job utilizing those crafty finishes. Sometimes when you're a smaller guard, you have to dig deep to finish. And there's Matoyer going right back and saying, I can finish just as well as you can. 43-40, Sierra Canyon lead. Doug McDaniel coming back into the front court.
Matoyer is one of those guys you're not really thinking about. You're expecting Mike Price to make plays, Kijani Wright to make plays, Ramel Lloyd to make plays, and then Matoyer makes a great one.
But Matoyer has been that guy for them pretty much all year long. You talk about those glue guys, and he's Elmer's for the Sierra Canyon squad. Doug McDaniel getting downhill, floater, up, no good. Rebound Kijani Wright, nearly loses it. Ramel Lloyd into the front court. They don't have numbers, but he's going to attack anyways. Up and off the glass, they're going to call the foul there on Deshaun Harris-Smith. That should be his third.
When offensive players put pressure on the defense, it really makes it difficult to guard, puts them in tough situations to have to defend perfectly or give up a shot or get fouled.
Yeah, I expected to see him pull that out and take his time, but he continued to attack. And, the result is he's going to head to the free throw line. We've got a break. We've got a timeout here. Let's give the viewers a little bit of the history of the Iolani Classic. This is year 37. We talked yesterday about why it was started. Fill us in.
Well, the Iolani Classic was started in 1983 by former Iolani coach Glenn Young. He started the Classic because he wanted to expose his Hawaii team to the talent and the basketball level on the mainland. And he had a really great team here, an 1983 state championship team with size and guard play. So he took his team. He said, how good are we? Took them to the mainland, and they got destroyed by a Philadelphia team. And he said, hey, we're going to have to do better here, not just at Iolani, but in Hawaii. We're going to have to expose these guys to the level of basketball that's around the country so we can improve the level of basketball here. And you're starting to see that. You're starting to see teams compete. You're starting to see guys like a J.J. Mandaquit competing at the highest level, competing with the clubs that mainly are West Coast field. You don't see Hawaii guys playing on one of the top clubs on the West Coast as a freshman, but yet getting the opportunity here to play against Sierra Canyon last night. So Hawaii basketball is so much better because of Glenn Young's vision. But to add to that, we talked about it. This Sierra Canyon team, you may have seen it on social media. They're taking pictures in Hawaii. They're smelling the air. They're getting in the water. They're going to see the sights, Pearl Harbor, visits to the beach. It's been great for everyone all around. Better basketball in Hawaii and exposure of Hawaii to the rest of the mainland.
Well, we talked earlier about this game of basketball being more than the 94 feet that is competed on, and being able to give these young men the culture and the experience of places that a lot of them probably would never see. That's big time, and we want to thank the Iolani Classic for their dedication to this event. Back to live action, 44-40, attacking downhill, not able to get it going, but Garrett Sundra's there to grab the rebound. Three-pointer on the way. Justin Boggs, no good. Kijani Wright with the rebound. 44-40, advantage Sierra Canyon. Mike Price Jr. bringing it into the front court. He's had the hot hand, but he's going to give it up, and he's going to space. Dylan Matoyer gives it up to Kijani Wright, who gets it into the hands of Ramel Lloyd, who finds Kijani Wright down low, unable to finish. Knocked away by Garrett Sundra. Great defensive rotation from Paul VI. Probably should have been a finish there from Kijani Wright, but he makes up for it with the block on the backside. And there's our guy, Deshaun Harris-Smith, gets the offensive rebound, puts it up, and he's going to get the trip to the free throw line for an opportunity for the three-point play.
There's that man again, always working. Nothing seems to be so easy for him. He's always getting it. Guys are flying around. He's rumbling. He's using his footwork, using his balance, and using that frame to create opportunities for his team.
Yeah, I really like, he's taking charges on one end. He's grabbing rebounds. He's attacking the glass. He just plays a all-together, all-around, high-level game of basketball. 44-43, one-point game, just over 4 minutes remain here. Sierra Canyon with the advantage, bringing it across the timelines. Ramel Lloyd, he's going to survey the floor, kicks it over to Kajani Wright, who has it high post left-hand side. Perimeter left-hand side, gives it up to Bronny James, near turnover. Dribble handoff, Bronny James attacking downhill, and he's going to finish at the rim.
Incredible body control by Bronny James. Paul VI again looking for that charge, but he's able to maneuver that body to get the layup.
46-43, advantage, Sierra Canyon. Deshaun Harris-Smith thought about attacking. He's going to pull it out and think about it. High ball screen comes from Garrett Sundra. We haven't seen Christian Gerdek for a while. Sundra sets the screen. Harris down low, drive and kick. Sundra for three. Off the mark, rebound Bronny James. Bronny James clears it. He's going to bring it across the timeline. He's into the front court, surveying the floor, kicks it down to Kajani Wright. Tapped away by Doug McDaniel. Doug's out into the front court, loses control. And it's going to be Sierra Canyon basketball.
Unfortunate for Doug McDaniel. Looked like Sierra Canyon was trying to give up the foul to prevent the fast break. Referees might have let that call go, thinking he was going to get the layup, and then it went out of bounds.
Yep. Right here, you'll see that foul on Ramel Lloyd. They let it slide. Doug McDaniel, Doug the defender, he is all over the floor. He's jumping the passing lanes. He's trying to create turnovers. He's doing everything he can to put his team in a position to walk away from here with the Iolani Classic Championship crown.
He's creating his own opportunities. He didn't get a touch during that last offensive possession, but you see him here defensively.
Mike Price attacking downhill, finishes at the rim. That's 10 points for Price. Coming right back is McDaniel. No good. Rebound Bronny James. Attacking downhill, Bronny at the rim. He's going to be fouled by Justin Boggs. He's going to head to the free throw line.
Not necessarily the pace that you want for Paul VI. This up and down really favors Sierra Canyon, especially if Paul VI isn't able to convert on one end.
Yeah, and there you see Bronny attacking downhill. That's where he feels most comfortable playing in transition. Don't go anywhere. This is destined to be a barn burner here in the 37th Annual Iolani Classic Championship. We'll be right back after this break. Back to live action here inside of the Iolani Classic. This is the 37th Annual Championship game. Sierra Canyon has been battling tooth and nail. This game has not disappointed at all. 48-43 lead with Bronny James stepping to the line from 2 free throws. First free throw's up, rattles around and pops out.
Sierra Canyon currently on a 4-0 run. Bronny James could take this up to 5.
Second one's good. 9 points on the night for Bronny James. Into the front court, Paul VI has it. Doug McDaniel kicks it down low, finds Deshaun Harris-Smith going against Bronny James. Up and under, Kajani Wright, finish. Deshaun Harris-Smith is competing out here tonight.
Again, nothing easy for him. Always looks like he's working, and he does not stop. Tries to find a hold every single time.
Mikey Price Jr. attacking downhill, the long arm of the law. Garrett Sundra with the block. We're out and running the opposite direction, and it's up and good for Darren Harris. He says, I'm more than just a shooter. Meet me at the rim. Good finish. Just over 2 minutes remain. We've got a 2-point game here, 49-47, advantage Sierra Canyon. Bronny James brings it across the timeline. Kicks it to the side, gives it to Kajani Wright. He gives it up to Ramel Lloyd. Man-to-man defense here from Paul VI. Kajani right down low. That's where he wants it at. Wasn't able to keep it high. Turns it over. Doug McDaniel with the opportunity to tie or take the lead.
Grittiness by the Paul VI defense, getting to the floor, getting touches on the ball. That's what they're known for. That's why they're successful.
Doug McDaniel surveying the floor, taking his time. They're going to call the charge on Deshaun Harris-Smith. Bronny James taking the charge. We talked earlier about your best players being locked in and engaged and taking charges, and Bronny James just did that. That's the 4th foul on Deshaun Harris-Smith.
Not a flashy play, but a winning play for Bronny James. Such a high basketball IQ. Notice that Deshaun Harris-Smith goes to the hole hard, tends to put his shoulder down. Took that baseline away and took it in the chest.
Dylan Matoyer brings it into the front court. Dribble handoff to Ramel Lloyd. Dribble handoff, Mike Price. High ball screen. Gives up Matoyer. Ramel Lloyd wide open. 3-ball on the way. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Beautiful shot there from Ramel Lloyd.
Well executed by Sierra Canyon. They had Kijani Wright on the roll, which forced Ramel Lloyd's man to sink down, giving him that open opportunity from 3.
Doug McDaniel thought about it. He's going to attack downhill. That foul's going to be on Ramel Lloyd. That should be his 3rd. Ramel Lloyd has 20 points here tonight, following up 23 points last night. Yep, that's the 3rd foul on Ramel Lloyd. Doug McDaniel has it up top. It was a 5-point differential. He surveys the floor, kicks it over to Deshaun Harris-Smith. Harris-Smith has Bronny James on him. Spin move, up, no good. Offensive rebound, up and good from Justin Boggs.
Deshaun Harris-Smith kept that ball alive with the tip after his miss, and Boggs.
52-49. Bronny James bringing it into the front court. He's fouled. That's going to be 1-and-1. He's going to head to the free throw line with the opportunity to make this a 2-possession basketball game. The front end of this free throw is vital. He needs to make this first free throw.
Bronny James had the opportunity on that last possession. Went 1 for 2, but did miss the first shot.
Yep.
His last time at the free throw line.
First free throw's up and no good. Rebound, Mike Price. And he travels. It's going to be Paul VI basketball. It's a 1-possession ball game.
Really a fortunate turn of events for Paul VI. Nearly lost that rebound, then a travel.
Wow. This game is one for the ages. 37 years of elite basketball here on the island. What better way to close out this year's championship game than a 1-possession game with under 30 seconds remaining?
As we mentioned earlier, this is an early Christmas present for everyone here, everyone watching, and I'm expecting the ball to touch the hands of Deshaun Harris-Smith and or Doug McDaniel. Really at this point, looking for an open 3-point opportunity, but not one that needs to be forced. They could go for a quick 2. Really any score is going to be important for Paul VI at this point, and play the free throw and maybe rebound game to get the ball back and to try and tie and or win the game.
Yeah, I mean, here you're in a situation where you're looking at a 1-possession ball game. With the shooters that they have, whether it be Doug McDaniel, who's been effective from the outside, Darren Harris, Brendan Robinson, there's multiple options if you can get a drive and kick situation. You almost, if you're Sierra Canyon, obviously you want to play heads-up defense, but you want to take away the 3 and run them off the 3-point line and force them to attack and then play defense for another possession.
I'd actually like to see Paul VI pull Sundra away from the basket, which will pull Johnny Wright away from the basket and maybe create an opportunity that way.
We'll see what they do. Doug McDaniel bringing it to the front court. 20 seconds remain. Shot clock's turned off. There's the shooter. 3-pointer on the way. Off the mark. No good for Darren Harris. 12.8 remains. They're going to have to foul, and they're going to have to foul quick.
Darren Harris had one thought in his mind as he came off that staggered away double screen, and maybe not the best look, but he's that kind of shooter. He can hit that shot.
Yeah, his feet weren't set, wasn't balanced, missed everything there. He for sure wants to have that one back. Well, coming out of this, obviously, we're going to see a foul situation. Sierra Canyon wants to get the ball into the hands of one of their foul shooters, whether it be Ramel Lloyd, whether it be Mike Price, Tim Radofsky. He hasn't stepped to the line at all today, but he's one of those peer shooters. It's going to be interesting to see who they inbound this ball to and who Paul VI denies the ball from. In a blue sky world, you'd like to see the ball go into the hands of Kajani Wright in this situation, I would think, but we're going to see what they draw up and how they do.
Ramel Lloyd struggled from the free throw line last night, but is 5 of 6 tonight, and he's been their guy. So I'm expecting him to get a touch. Maybe Mike Price, who's been so big in the second half.
Yeah, again, you only need one. You're shooting 1-on-1. You need that first one. Get the second opportunity. I'm okay with missing the second one, and the reason why I'm okay with that is because you're going to force Paul VI to utilize a timeout. It's a 2-possession ball game. They can't tie. So you make the first one, miss the second one. They're going to have to either call a timeout or take some time off the clock. The first one's going to be vitally important.
Yeah, important distinction. Still a 1-and-1, not a double bonus situation.
Ball's into Mike Price Jr., who's fouled with 10 seconds remaining.
Bronny James serving as the decision maker, taking it out of bounds, and he's done that throughout the tournament. Not the flashy scorer that people expect on highlights, but he has been that solid guy. An important role, taking the ball out, so important. Usually you only see it if they make a mistake, but he did a great job there of getting it into Mike Price.
That's the most important role in that situation. Free throws on the way from Price, no good. Still a 1-possession ball game. 3 can tie. We've got just under 10 seconds. Doug McDaniel brings it into the front court. Crossover pull-up jumper for 3, no good. Sundra kicks it back out. Another 3 from McDaniel at the buzzer. In and out, no good. Sierra Canyon with the victory.
Wow.
A game of inches. It was right there. It rattled around and popped out. Sierra Canyon's going to walk away with the victory here in the 37th annual Iolani Classic Championship game.
Amazing. What a game by both teams.
Ramel Lloyd showing sportsmanship, wanting to go and give a hug to Coach Glenn Ferrello. You love that sportsmanship from a player like that.
Such competitors on both sides of the floor. Doug McDaniel, key among them, and
we'll be right back here with our end of game wrap up. Don't go anywhere. NBC Sports. We're back inside of Iolani High School. That's been a phenomenal tournament all around, and we just crowned our 37th champion of the Iolani Classic. Sierra Canyon able to pull out the victory. Ramel Lloyd had a phenomenal game, 20 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds. This is what we expected when we talked about this. Alongside me is Coach Dean Shimamoto. He was the head coach here for 10 years. What is this game? Is this kind of resemblant of what this has been in the years past?
Maybe except for the crowd. This is the type of game we've gotten used to seeing. That's why it's such a special tournament to us here in Hawaii. High-level basketball, high-level competitiveness. You've seen stars be stars. Doug McDaniel was an absolute star today. Despite losing that game, nearly got that little magical three-point runner to go at the buzzer to send it to overtime. And again, he's disappointed. He's so competitive, but man, what a performance by Ramel Lloyd.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, you know, we talked about it in pregame. Bronny James didn't impact the game the way most would expect him to, but he had his imprint all over the game, whether it be rebounding, assisting, facilitating. Like, he did all of the little things that you need a leader to do. Great job from this entire Sierra Canyon squad. Great job from Paul VI. You love to see a competitive matchup. You love to see the championship game go down to the final shot. You can't ask for anything more than that.
Yeah, it was an incredible great game, a great defensive battle, but you saw a lot of offense come down the stretch. Mike Price was special in the second half. Ramel Lloyd was really consistent throughout the game, but also hit big shots at the end. 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 3 of 5 from the three-point line. More known as a guy that goes to the basket, but also has the ability to knock it down from the outside.
Absolutely, and now they're presenting the trophy. You talked to me pregame about how special this trophy is. It's not your normal trophy. It's one of those things that when you see it in the trophy case, it's going to make you do a double take and take a second look at it. Here you have a look at the carved wood trophy. That is a special trophy, and it's headed home. Both of these guys are going to get one, but the one headed Sierra Canyon is just a little bit sweeter.
Yeah, hand carved. We call it the koa. Koa's a wood. Here in Hawaii, beautiful wood. So a hand carved koa trophy that goes to both the second place and the winner.
Well, being able to have something like that in your trophy case is only second to the experience of being here in Honolulu and competing tooth and nail throughout this tournament and walking away as the champions. These guys will not forget this experience. For some of them, this is their first time ever coming to Hawaii. It's an amazing experience. I know I've enjoyed myself here in Honolulu. I appreciate the hospitality of Iolani High School. The Iolani Classic has been absolutely amazing. Coach, you've been great. It's been a pleasure calling these games alongside of you. I truly appreciate having you here with me.
It's been so much fun. I hope it was a great experience for these players outside of the basketball, outside of the gym, off the court. I know they'll remember this, as you said, for a lifetime.
And there you have it, Bronny James handing the trophy to his coach, letting him know, hey, this is a team effort. This isn't just me. It's a full team effort. Now they're going to give some individual awards. So what other awards do they give here?
So they'll have a most valuable player, a most outstanding player, and an all-tournament team. So several trophies for an all-tournament team, which spans the entire tournament, not just these final games. So you'll hear names from spectacular players. Kobe King, one of them. J.J. Mandaquit out of Iolani. Many, many stars that made their name here. I'm sure Mike Price. I'm sure Deshaun Harris-Smith. I'm sure Doug McDaniel. And the likely most valuable player, I mean, you know who that is.
Ramel Lloyd.
Easy choice.
Easy choice. There's the name Kobe King. We talked about him a lot yesterday. He's headed to St. John's. He's going to be a special player here in the future. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching this broadcast. From me, Justin Brantley, alongside my broadcast partner, Coach Dean Shimamoto, we appreciate you joining us. We'll catch you next time. Have a Merry Christmas.